What's the biggest mistake people make in their personal injury case is not involving other people. And I think it comes down to when you're growing up, people are always saying, "Hey, don't tell people, any weakness, they use it against you." And really the problem in personal injury cases is if you're the only person who's saying that you're injured or it's your spouse who has a financial interest in the outcome, it's really hard for somebody to come in and as a juror and come in and basically make the decision that your injuries were in fact as bad as you say they are, because the one thing you're going to deal with is the defense lawyer for the insurance company is going to be saying, if it was really as bad as they say it is, where's their coworkers, where's their friends, where's their other people that don't have a financial interest? And so your best piece of evidence that really brings the value in your case is involving other people. And you got to do one thing though, you've got to actually talk about your injury. And so if you're at work and you're having to get help to do things, you want to ask for help. If your supervisor's asking why you're behind or why you're not able to keep up, you got to talk about the fact that, hey, I'm getting treatment or I had this crash or this injury. But when you keep it to yourself, you're basically giving the insurance company all the advantage of he said, she said. And when we have the burden of proof, that's not going to be enough for most jurors. They're going to want to hear from somebody who doesn't have a financial interest in your case. And so who are some of those people? It can be people from church groups. We've had a case once where we actually had the pastor come in and testify about the changes that they saw in praying with their parishioners. And those are really powerful because when you bring in your employer or coworkers or even your supervisor, most people are going to say that person not only doesn't have a financial interest, but they're really going to believe the things that they're saying, because most of us think of our own employers and say, would they really come in and support the fact that I had these injuries, or would they really tell some other people showing up at court and tell them, hey, they have these limitations, but we still kept them on. We made accommodations for them because they are a hard worker. I can give you one of our best examples. We had a client that had injuries, and we're not just talking about once or twice. She worked in fast food most of her career, and she had significant injuries. She also had injuries that took place at home. And at the end of the day, the defense and the insurance company wanted to make a huge deal about, look at all the injuries she had in the past. But the one thing that was different about this injury that we represented her in is she wasn't able to come back to work. In all those other cases, she literally had her hand go into a French fry frying, and the grease, everything burned her hand all the way up to her elbow. She was at work literally, I think she had 1 day, maybe 1.5 days off, and came back to work. She had a time where her finger got cut off with a table saw, and she was back at work the next day. She had knee injuries that had surgeries on, and she was back at work. And ultimately, in all of those examples, even though that on paper, the defense lawyers had hired all of these insurance company doctors to say she was basically immobile. She didn't have any ability to keep working, and all of her pain and her problems all pre-existed this. They had no response to the fact that she always returned back to work. And the best witness in her case was actually one of her employees, where she was a manager. One of the new associates that came into work there said that she had an amazing work ethic. She was like an Energizer bunny, that she was all over the place throughout her entire shift, pulling double shifts. And so when the insurance company came in and they basically said, look at all of this history, look at all these things that she has problems with, she was already broke, she was already down and out. She literally, this didn't do anything to her because she was already damaged. That one witness literally made her entire case. And the reason is because they were able to testify about what she was able to do during the time period the insurance company was saying, look, she can't do anything. And so the other thing that's important is that witness hadn't seen our client in over 10 years. And so when you put all that in perspective, your best witness, a lot of times you really need to spend time thinking about who it is that can tell the story about what I was physically able to do, or what are the things that the insurance companies coming in and saying, no, you already have all these problems, that person can then come in and highlight the fact that they were physically active, that they didn't have any problems. And that is the best thing that you can do to increase the value of your case.